Hello, everybody. This is Wayne.
And Steven.
And we are two-thirds of the band The Flaming Lips, and you're listening to
KEXP in Seattle, Washington.
Where the music matters, Steven.
Wow.
I'm Stevie Zoom. It's a few minutes past 12 noon. That set just finished up with Luna from their most recent album, Romantica, the song Black Postcards. Beth Orton ahead of that with Mount Washington from her new one, Daybreaker. And that set began right before 12 noon with Sparkle Horse, Comfort Me.
Wow.
And
that's a whole... Did you guys do the Sparkle Horse thing as well?
I hadn't planned it that way. I want to introduce here in the studio the Flaming Lips.
Hello, Steve Zoom.
We have Wayne, Michael, and Steven.
Yeah.
And Michael made some contributions to the music in that set that people just heard.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. Well, the Flaming Lips performed last night at the Pier, and before they're leaving town, we're especially happy that they're here in the studio. So welcome to KEXP.
Well, we're glad to be here.
Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots is the brand new record.
They always say it like, boy.
As they're saying
what's
the
up
title,
with all
just,
that?
oh.
Yeah.
So
you're going to say, how did you come up with that title?
No.
Right? My answer has become that I took 10 hits of acid and listened to this melody that Steven had, and that it popped into my head that way. But it's not true.
It sounds a lot more fun that way, though.
Yeah.
It gets people to thinking.
They think, wow, that's a lot of acid.
All at once.
That's how they come up with all those records.
Yeah, that's a lot all at once, yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here. How you guys doing right now? You're out touring quite a bit with the new record.
Yeah, we're good, yeah. Yesterday was kind of cold. I mean, I guess that's normal for Seattle here, right? But it seemed, with the summertime, we thought we'd be here to be, girls in bikinis and people smoking crack and everything out there, and there we was. People were bundled up. Yeah.
That's a lot of summer days are like that here.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they would go to the pier because they wanted to cool off, but they went to the pier and they were cold, which I guess is fine. You've got all the. In Seattle, I guess you drink coffee and sit around the computer all day. Doesn't matter what the weather is. Yeah.
I don't know. You got a couple. I want to have you introduce a couple of your assistants here.
Well, usually,
these are our good friends.
Yeah, when they play on stage with us, it's Dog Boy on the cymbal, and what are you now? The pink bear.
Pepto Pig.
Pepto-Bismol flavored pig. Yeah.
So the Flaming Lips are going to perform here at KEXP, so you have to just sort of imagine the visuals along with it.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. If you guys are ready.
We're ready. We're going to do a song called Do You Realize? We're going to start with that one.
Okay.
Yeah? We're good to go?
1, 2, 3, 4. Floating in space. Do you realize that happiness makes you cry? Do you realize that someday will die? And instead of saying all of your goodbyes, let them know you realize that life goes fast. It's hard to make the good things last. You realize the sun don't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning around. Do you realize It's hard to make the good things last. You realize the sun doesn't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning around. Do you realize that you have the most beautiful face? Do you realize?
All right, nice one, Michael.
That was all right.
It's 90.3 KEXP, live music from the Flaming Lips here in the studios. Do You Realize? Which is one of the songs off the brand new one, Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots.
Yep.
And it's going to be a single as well.
Yeah, I think so. We're waiting to see what the video turns out like. I made a video about 2 months ago for the DVD release of the single in England, and I threw together a video really quick where we called up a bunch of our friends to meet us in out in some farm in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, and we asked that 20 girls show up willing to take off their clothes while I walked through the field singing the song. And
10 hits of acid.
well, we didn't say they had to take any acid or anything, but a couple of gals got so inspired that while I was walking down this path while Bradley had lights and filming me, they actually took their clothes off. That's weird, isn't it?
That's pretty weird.
But they didn't like that video that much.
They
so
didn't.
we shot another video in Las Vegas about 10 days ago where I was supposed to ride an elephant down one of the main strips in Las Vegas while setting people on fire. That sounds like a great video too, huh?
That sounds appropriate for Las Vegas.
We wouldn't really start them on fire. It'd be kind of an effect that they put on it later. But
Right.
we didn't end up doing so much of that. But yeah, I did the same sort of thing where it's as if I walked from the farm in Oklahoma all the way to Las Vegas, and I'm walking down the strip in Las Vegas, and I have gals and I have people in rabbit costumes and frog costumes and all kinds of weird stuff happening. Yeah.
I hope that one comes about. That would be a good video.
Well, the elephant, he did cooperate a lot, but
Yeah.
I didn't get to ride him. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he sort of sang along with me one time. I was sitting there playing, and he was right behind me with his big old trunk thing right there. It was kind of fun.
You just mentioned Bradley, your friend.
Yeah, the filmmaker guy that we worked with all our music videos, and he did the Okie Noodling thing that we did music for. He's done a documentary about us because he's known us for so long that he had all kinds of footage laying around of us, in our most embarrassing moments, of course. And he's helping me do our movie as well, the Christmas on Mars stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I've been reading that a lot of those things you were doing simultaneously.
Well, I know that kind of it sounds bad when you say it that way. I mean, we have a plan of what we're doing, but sometimes you just opportunities come up, and especially to do Bradley's film. I mean, you never know. It's the way art is. You say you're going to do something, and when you're finished with it is sort of it's an ambiguous decision when you're done with something. And with him, it started wrapping up. He started to know how what his footage was going to be, and then he was like, "Well, can you guys do the music?" And it was really around the same time we started to work on the Pink Robots record and do the Christmas on Mars stuff. But of course, that's what we like. We like it all just for stuff just to happen. And so we were doing the Okie Noodling soundtrack, which for people who don't know, that's about these weirdo fishermen in Oklahoma that instead of using sort of rods and reels and boats and typical things to catch fish with, they just sort of dive in the riverbed and put their hands in these big holes that the fish live in hopes that the fish will bite their hand, right? And then when the fish bites their hand, they're able to pick this big old catfish up with just their hands. Go figure. So Bradley thought that was fascinating, and indeed his film is. And so we made music that sort of goes with that kind of atmosphere of what's going on there. So that stuff sort of ended up being kind of sort of not overly sophisticated country sounding sort of stuff. Not a lot of singing on it, but a lot of, sort of instrumental banjos and upright basses and violins, harmonicas and hiccups and general sitting around the porch sort of music sort of stuff.
Yeah. There's on the website. There's a little portion of Christmas on Mars that's on there. For the finished product or anything, can you let folks know where that kind of stands right now?
Well, we think we're shooting for the Christmas of 2003. Yeah, and we have about a third of it finished so far. We shoot the movie in the same way that we do our records, instead of sort of shooting it all and then editing it all and then putting music to it all, the typical way movies are done. We sort of do it a scene at a time, as if we're sort of making music videos. We'll go about it and do 2 or 3 minutes at a time, and we'll put music and all the sound effects and edit it all together. So it's as though we have a third of it finished, and I think our progress seems to be steady enough that we feel like we can finish it to present it to the world around 2003, and we keep recruiting all kinds of new and celebrity type
People more famous than us.
people to help us. Yeah. So far we have the guy used to be. What was his name on Blue's Clues?
Steve.
Steve. Oh, it's just
That's his
Steve
name?
from Blue's Clues. Well, I always think of him as Steve with the striped shirt. Yeah. Steve Burns from Blue's Clues drove all the way down from New York to be in our crazy film at the end of May, and we were just in Los Angeles, and what's
Hanging
his
out with Elijah Wood.
Yeah, and he offered.
He's very
to,
famous.
He offered to drive out to Oklahoma and be in the movie, but we all suspected that he had taken about 10 hits of acid that night. So when the
Again,
acid,
with the 10 hits of acid that keeps coming
when
up.
the acid wears off, we'll see what he says then.
Got to be
yeah.
10.
Yeah, so that's coming along good. Yeah.
All right. Would you
You seem scared over there. Yeah.
No, I'm leaning back here. I'm going to fall off this. When that's all done, could you see yourself going out and taking the movie around on the film festival circuit?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think in some ways we would like to present it as a giant, loud movie that has like sound effects that come with it. So like, say if something, blows up in the movie, that we'd have like sort of an explosion in the theater, or if there's snow or something in the movie, that it would snow on you in the theater, and have like maybe giant sound systems. So you can, a lot of times, you go to movies these days, and I don't know about how it is in Seattle, but in Oklahoma, you'll have these complexes where there's 30 theaters within a building, and they're very small little theaters, and they can't turn the sound up very loud for fear that you'll hear, Arnold Schwarzenegger while you're watching your, David Lynch movie. And so everything is really very quiet. And I like it when movies are just an overly intense experience. So we're hoping that we can present it in some way that it has, an intensity about it, that it's not just such a passive sort of eat some popcorn, watch a movie, that we can kind of attack you still a little bit, even though it's a movie, in the way that we sort of present our shows when we're playing music and singing. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a couple theaters I think could accommodate that here for you.
Yeah, just throw stuff at people. That's kind of what people seem to like that. Yeah.
Okay, you guys ready for another tune?
What are we going to do next there, Steven?
Would you like to do One More Robot?
Oh, sure.
It's a
Well,
new
how about we
song.
do that? Yeah, this song is called One More Robot, and it's there's a slight concept part of our record. It's called Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots, and there's a little bit of a story about Yoshimi killing the robot, and this song sort of comes before that song, and it's sung from the point of view of perhaps the robot, and the robot in this song, I think it's more poignant and sad if I explain it, that the robot is one of these advanced super machines that's built somewhere in the future by some very smart, technical type people, and it has the ability to feel emotions, right? Well, this robot's emotions are in some ways really superior to humans, and so even though it's meant to sort of battle Yoshimi and kill Yoshimi, well, it has these emotions, and for some reason it's fallen in love with Yoshimi. So you have a robot that's in love with the little gal that it's supposed to kill. And so they go to fight, and the robot decides, since he's so in love with Yoshimi, that instead of killing Yoshimi like he easily could, because he's a giant machine, he's an evil giant machine, he sacrifices himself and he kills himself. And the audience that's watching this horrible battle thinks that Yoshimi has actually killed the robot. So she becomes the great celebrated, little warrior who's killed the giant evil machine. But Yoshimi is the only one that secretly knows that the robot really just killed himself. And she really admires the robot after that for sacrificing himself. And even though he's a huge, powerful machine, he shows such mercy to her. And so for the rest of the concept as it plays out, it really is Yoshimi sort of admiring the abilities of these great machines to be superior to humans in really the best ways that they could, in love and mercy and, boy, just, giving up itself for something that it loves. So this song is, I know, you're crying already, yeah. So this song it's meant to be sort of sad because this is the robot realizing he's going to kill himself. All right, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Yeah.
Yeah. 90.3 KEXP Seattle. If you just tuned in, you're listening to the Flaming Lips live here at the studio. They were at the Pier last evening, and gracious enough, we thank you once again for coming in here. Coming in here before you leave town. Yoshimi, if people aren't familiar, the name is one of the members of the Boredoms from Japan.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've known Yoshimi since we were on tour at Lollapalooza in 1994, I believe. I mean, we knew of them before then, but luckily we got to meet them and sort of, watch them and talk to them in the best way you can. I mean, she doesn't really speak English, and we're sadly don't speak any Japanese. So, when you communicate with people with music, in a lot of ways, it sort of simplifies the whole thing. It becomes sort of simple. But we had done, I guess 3 or 4 tracks that we were sort of working on. We weren't finished with them. We didn't know what to do with them. And she was coming to America to do, she was coming to be on tour. And we called her up and see if she'd want to play on a couple tracks of ours. And we went to a studio in Austin, Texas, spent the afternoon there, and worked on 3 or 4 tracks. And she sang and played trumpet, and she does all kinds of crazy stuff. She drums and she plays guitar. She plays virtually everything. But on our stuff, she ended up just sort of doing a lot of crazy screaming and a little bit of horn playing as well. And this was really early on in the recording, so we didn't really know what we were going to do with it all. And ends up that we kind of used her on on 3 tracks, maybe 4 tracks of just sort of random stuff where she's screaming, and on 1 track where she actually plays trumpet and stuff. But the Yoshimi that's part of the title really sort of became kind of removed from it actually being a real person. We were at sometimes when you're working on records for as long as we do, and as randomly as sort of creations sort of come up, we're working on sometimes working on songs that don't have titles to them, and because there's so much cataloging and all this sort of stuff that you have to do, everything needs a name. You got to have a name for every little piece of music you put down to put in the computer, because the computer doesn't know when you just say, oh, you know, that thing we were working on yesterday, you know. So we were working on this track that we sort of jokingly gave a very stupid, vile title to, you know, just sort of flippantly thinking, oh, we don't have a title. And as you do in the studio, you just come up with the stupidest things, and everybody knows what you're talking about, and you move on. But we quickly realized that, you know, all these files that we have and we're making our records are all on computers, and people, you'd be surprised that people can literally come in and steal your stuff that you're working on. Happens to artists all the time, where your stuff is in the computer and you come back the next day and some clever hacker, you know, has found a way to get into the system and take all your stuff, or at least copy it, and you'll find it out there on the internet somewhere. So us being aware that we had this horrible title on there, we quickly went in and said, oh, let's get rid of that. And in place of that, I came up with the title, Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots, just as quick as we could to sort of, you know, replace the other one. But then we all ended up sort of liking this title and using it to sort of, you know, as we came up with songs and ideas to sort of say, oh, that could represent maybe something bigger with the record.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough one time several years ago to be in Japan and kind of witness just everything that goes on there, where they embrace their ancient customs and traditions, and at the same time just take in everything that's Western.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, the Japanese culture is so great, especially if you're in a band and you see what happens. Is it is such a disciplined sort of culture. And I don't know if everybody's like this. We make generalities because when you walk around in the cities, you see this. And there's a lot of self-control, a lot of self-discipline. People are very quiet and very polite to each other. But you get these people at a rock show and not very much beer. All they got to do is know there's some beer in the house. And they'll go crazy. I mean, the first time we showed up in Japan after recording the Soft Bulletin, you know, I do this thing when I'm on stage where I pour blood on myself and I have confetti and I have these little hand puppets. We showed up and virtually the entire audience has little blood that they pour on themselves. They threw confetti on us all night. Usually it's the other way around. I'm throwing stuff at them. They threw confetti at us all night, and they had hand puppets that they made. They cried all night. And, you know, a lot of bands, they'll go there for the first time and think, gosh, they really like us. But you have to realize they do that for every band that comes through. That's just the way they are. And that's really the way, you know, we should try to be so much like that. People go to concerts and rock shows, and they think, oh, here's the time to be cool and show everybody just how cool I am. And it's just so much fun when people just let it go and don't worry about the way your hair looks and the way that your tattoo looks or your piercing or whatever, and just have fun and get into it. And that's what we try to, encourage that if people, because sometimes our songs, they are sappy and sometimes they're silly and sometimes they're really sad and sometimes people are just too cool to sort of to want to react to that. And we say, oh, let go and have fun, huh? And this next song that we're going to do is of that vein. It's we're gonna do the Kylie one next, right? Yeah. Do you have me here? Yeah. Are you ready for us to do another song?
I'm ready.
Right. Well, this song, we had just got done playing a couple of. Do you need to be closer? We had just got done playing a couple of weeks in England, and we were the very first thing we were going to do was do a TV show where you were required to do a couple of cover songs, and. We decided, I don't know why we decided, but we decided we really loved this song. We tried to do our version of it. And it's sort of a hit in America as well. But in England and especially in Europe, this is one of the biggest songs that's ever been done. And it's that song, I Just Can't Get You Out of My Head, made famous by the great singer, dancer, cute, sexy gal, Kylie Minogue, right? Australian gal, right? Yeah. And since I'm not very sexy and I don't dance, we do it in a sad way.
Yes. You want to try it?
Yes.
I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your love is all I think about. I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your love is all I think about. La la la, la 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 la, la 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 I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your love is all I think about. I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your love is all I think about. I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your love is all I think about. I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your love is all I think about. La la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la
Ninety point three KEXP, the Flaming Lips live here in the studios. Kylie Minogue tune.
Yes.
Can't get you out of my head. Finally, we get some Kylie on the radio here.
Why did the audience demand that you not play that?
It's been a mixed response so far.
Really? Why? Why? It's such a fun song. I mean, no, she sings it in that kind of, when you get the disco beat and the longing sort of lyric and melody, it really can be quite sexy. Yeah. I mean, we don't do it sexy. That'd be kind of pathetic for me. I mean, I'm in a bloody suit here. I was wearing an eye patch earlier, right? Yeah.
That was a great visual effect on radio.
Well, right. So we do it in sort of a more sad kind of way, and so like can't get you out of my head because I love you, not because Kylie sings this. I can't get it out of my head because I want to get it on with you, and I would never say something like that publicly. No.
No, not publicly.
No. I mean, I have desires like anybody else, but yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't say it publicly,
All right. Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots is the new one from the Flaming Lips. And the prior one, the Soft Bulletin, I think it's the band sort of, you've been around for quite a while. And
almost 20 years.
Almost.
Yeah.
It's sort of, the band has different stages where they've probably picked up and dropped and picked up people who have been fans over the years.
Well, I think bands have usually like a 5 or 6 year span where whatever they were doing is sort of hip and exciting and then sort of built and maybe they progress a little bit. But after about 5 or 6 years, it sort of seems like whatever they started doing has either become tired to them or tired to the audience, and they just say, yeah, we're tired of this and we'll just go home and cook on the barbecue or something. And so luckily with us was we kind of, we never really had any particular kind of music that we thought we were going to dedicate our lives to. We love all kinds of music. So even in the beginning where we made kind of, what would best be called a sort of amateur punk rock racket in a way. At the time when we were doing that in 1983 and 1984, there was a lot of bands around America who were doing it better than us, but doing it the same way and having some success. And so we were lucky that we could get into the whole music scene and be able to put out records and have people actually pay attention to us because that's what was hip then. But like all sort of scenes or times or trends, it changes into something else. And in a way, that's really what we embrace the most, is that this stuff, even what we're doing now, eventually it will change. And even if we don't want to change, well, we'll have to do something different if we want to continue to be interesting and sort of evolve and either lead music somewhere or follow it wherever it's going. And I think that's the best thing that's happened to us, is we're never stuck thinking we represent a certain thing. So I think if people go back to 1984 and get our records then, in a lot of ways you wouldn't really even recognize it in us now. But it's the same guys, same bodies, hopefully sort of slightly different minds and maybe a little bit more different facial hair and stuff. But yeah.
Well, for a band to endure, and when you continually come up with different ideas, and you've been able to express those through different musical styles, through video, through film, theatrics on stage, it gives you more and more just ways to express it in different avenues.
Yeah, I mean, well, rock and roll has that sort of going for it anyway. People want to put you in magazines and they want to put you on TV. So it's not simply music the way I'm sure in the past, you could have a record and you'd hear the music, but you'd really never see the person. To whereas now with the internet and all the sort of stuff that you really have access to the whole ideas behind what people are about, not just their music. And yeah, it's especially great for a band like us because we do so much image and visual and talking and all that sort of stuff that goes with our music, and it just enhances it, I think.
All right. Well, we're going to be lucky enough here. I think you guys are going to do one more tune.
All right.
And we'll let you go.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to do the title track off the record.
We will. You've been saying Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots, and we did that sad song about the robots. And this one we'll do. This is on the record. The Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots Part 1 is really kind of an uplifting, powerful, triumphant song. But we're going to do it in a kind of sad way. So for everybody who's listening and everybody who's liked us, thanks a bunch for believing in us all along. And we'll see you guys again. We'll do a sad song and leave from there.
All right.
Her name is Yoshimi. She's a black belt in karate, working for the city. She has to discipline her body, 'cause she knows that It's demanding to defeat those evil machines. I know she can beat them. Oh, Yoshimi, they don't believe me, but you won't let those robots eat me, Yoshimi, they don't believe me, but you won't let those robots defeat me. Those evil natured robots, they're programmed to destroy us. She's gotta be strong to fight them. So she's taking lots of vitamins, 'cause she knows that it'd be tragic if those evil robots win. I know she can beat them. Oh, Yoshimi, they don't believe me, but you won't let those robots eat me, Yoshimi, they don't believe me, but you won't let those robots defeat me, Yoshimi.
Thank you very much.
All right. Hey, thanks for having us. Sure.
Stephen, Michael, and Wayne, the Flaming Lips, live here at KEXP. Good luck with everything that near future. We're
Well, thank
looking
you,
forward
sir.
to the films and
All right.
videos and
yeah.
all that good stuff.
And yeah, and, hopefully we'll come back here and play a bunch more times. And we've always had a great time here. We came here even before Sub Pop happened and all that, and it was all those people have always helped us out a lot. So yeah, it's been fun.
Maybe it'll be a
Thanks.
few degrees warmer next time.
Oh, I don't care.
Thanks so much. The Flaming Lips at 90.3 KEXP Seattle.